Bones O'Connor's my name, your host for today. Silencio, per favor. I have some things to say. If the fire alarm sounds, please do pay it heed and exit the room with Billy Coleman-like speed. Farting's prohibited. That's a no-no. If you pop one off here, I will ask you to go. But if you do need to go for a wee or a poo, go out those doors there and you will find the loo. Put your phones, please, on silent. There will be a break for those important phone calls you think you've to make. We are all here to honour Billy the Kid and to remember some of the great things he did. Like beating the Brits back in 74. And like Joe Dolan, he did it more and more. We'll deal with that later. I won't bore you to bits. The stripogram comes later, Billy. She'll show you her tits. We thank all who have helped out in cash and in kind. I won't mention your names here. I hope you don't mind. But I will thank my colleagues on the committee. Treasurer Tom Walsh leaves no one in for free. He keeps an eye on the funds in the bank. We've the mini-man Manny, whose first name is Frank. You all know Fergus Mac, the king of Rally Retro. He's the man you can thank for the lovely slideshow. James O'Brien spends his time now playing with model cars. With Donny Lucy and Sean Buckley, they're due a few jars. Peter Scott sat with Billy when he was young and thin, that's Peter. And our favourite McCrumpian, it is Gerard Quinn. But for me, Conor Falvey has been the real star. You can all form a queue to buy him a jar. He works in Killarney in MD O'Shea's. He can't have done much there in these past few days. Plum has also helped to organise this unique opportunity to go on the piss. Alan Tyndall is blessed with a fine, plummy voice. As broadcasters go, he is the Rolls Royce. With RPM on the telly, he was some superstar, but my best memories of him are with Lynn at the bar. Now, after your meal, there won't be a dance, so listen to Plum. This is his big chance. He's a young man who's hell-bent on a career in the media. He'll entertain you as much as the waiters will feed you. There's a lot of old folks here with feck all to do. Pardon me if I mention only a few. For years on the telly, we would see no rally, but when an old fart up there, Billy got very pally. With Michael O'Carroll, whom I will call Mr. Another RTE man here is Michael Lister. A lifelong petrol head, he's got what it takes. He competed 9 times in the Rally of the Lakes. Michael's well known and he's quite used to fame. So for 200 years, he was the Sunday game. And speaking of football, though some think it's a bore, John Coleman played Ga, but did he love rugby more? His Cork teammates are here. They won in 73. Billy Morgan went to school in Collage to Creastree. John was a good man to have in a scrap. Paddy Shea once gave Dinny Allen a hell of a slap. John wasn't impressed. He was heard to say, when I get my chance, I'll give him a good puck. And at the next game in Killarney, John committed a sin. He gave Paddy a beating before the throw-in. Photographers aplenty. Chester's here in the sticks. You all know Seamus Coonan. He's from CRS Pics. Opal man Ted O'Connell is very well dressed. But my wife Ruth Brophy is simply the best. That's true. Peter Scott sat with Billy in 74. They went on to do a few rallies more. A brilliant navigator who's still out every year. Navigating Billy gave him no cause for fear. The Gardini was quick way back in the day, especially when driven by young Paddy Fay, 87 years of age. Frank Gary is here, as is Derek Jolly. He sat with Tom Burke, who always gave it holly. Billy's first cousin is here, that's Gerald Buckley. Jerry Johnson was king shit when at DTV. We've a crowd from the north. There's Derek the Hat. Dean Hetherington can sometimes be a right brat. There's an imp driver here who always went well. That's the one and only Robin Air Crashwell. We've a world champion here. Now what can I say about the man that the WRC calls MJ? For years in Irish rallies, Andrew Nesbitt was boss, a half-deaf rally driver whose fridges were cross. No wonder James had to shout so loud at you. You won every stage in Donegal and there were 22. CB Curley's pint-sized, but a hell of a guy. Whatever he drove, he made the car fly. In AUI 1500, he had his circuit win, but in Donegal's historic, he committed a sin. In Beatty's 911, he drove right through a fence. CB, you really should have some more sense. The Bowows he loves, he spent time at the track. Modest Cahill is not, but he is mighty crack. Frank O'Donoghue was a top navvy back in the day, but he made a right boo-boo one time in Galway. Billy also used Peter in 74. Johnny Ayres in the Burma, but there was one more. The man we... Oh, sorry. A weak moment. The man we called God, because he never was wrong. Sadly, after Christmas, Leo White passed on. Excuse me. He was an old pal. Dan O'Sullivan. Dan O'Sullivan. Dan O'Sullivan, British champion. You always thought big. I saw you once crash the Anglia you shared with Padraig. In Vernon Dan, your driving was bad because you hit a fence post and broke the front rad. But you were the brains of that championship year. As a rally team manager, you just had no peer. Billy Coleman's a farmer who's great at the hay. He's hating this, by the way. The Escort was MEV 36J. His first circuit was 70. His first circuit win was 75 with Felix. They used Shell engine oil, or maybe it was Helix. Twice more he won it with Ronan and Dan. Early on, Steve Mills and Evan Hughes drove the van. The Ratman's 911 once proved his downfall. One Monday night on the circuit, he drove into a bridge wall. When he beat Roger Clark back in 74, he entered the world of rallying folklore. 3 navvies we shared, Ronan, Felix and Dick, they all said that you were incredibly quick. Later on, Plum will have a long chat with the kid. At the auction tonight, perhaps you'll make a bid. Funds raised go to Marymount and Mill Street Daycare and to Mill Street Hospital if we've anything to spare. Relax, folks, this verse will now come to an end. It's a great day for the Colemans and for Billy, our friend. Now, all you Coleman fans, both women and men, one word's as good as 10, so tuck in. Amen.